Welcome back to the best anime recap channel on YouTube. Today I am going to explain an anime called Prison School. Kiyoshi, Joe, Andre, Gakuto, and Andre meet each other in Hachimitsu Academy, a school which is usually an all-girls high school. The Underground Student Council, also known as USC, prevents contact between boys and girls. Kiyoshi becomes friends with a girl in his class named Chiyo, who is a sumo wrestling fan. Chiyo invites Kiyoshi to a sumo date. Later that night, the boys decide to watch them secretly while they shower. While watching, they get caught by USC. Because of this, they get punished by being sent to the school prison block for 1 month. The USC secretary Han takes over guard duty, and the boys realize she is too violent. When Kiyoshi climbs a tree to help an animal, he sees Chiyo. Kiyoshi is too embarrassed to be seen in prison uniform, so he promises to go on a date with Chiyo if she doesn't say anything. Later on, Hana has to take a golden shower because she drank too much tea, and while golden showering, Kiyoshi sees her from the top and fall off the tree. The school chairman talks to the USC president and gets some time off for the boys on weekends. However, the USC president Mary ends their free time when she sees adult material in the chairman's office and on his computer. This worries Kiyoshi because now he cannot go on his date, so he plans to break out at night. He secretly starts digging a hole in the waste disposal cabin's wall. Gakuto notices his plans after seeing Chiyo's note which she wrote to Kiyoshi. Gakuto then finds Kiyoshi's breakout plan interesting and asks to join him. Meanwhile, Hana starts asking Kiyoshi to give her a yellow shower. Hana forces Kiyoshi and gets inside the washroom with him, where she accidentally gets a golden shower all over her. Now Kiyoshi and Gakuto complete their escape plan. They do a check on that escape hole, so Kiyoshi gets out of that hole, but on his way back, he gets distracted by the chairman. Miko gets there and starts asking for Kiyoshi. Kiyoshi luckily gets back right on time. The boys get gift request forms, and they are given the task of helping at a district sports event. Later in the week, when Kiyoshi and Gakuto are taking a bath, Shingo sees them and assumes they are homosexual and changes his group. The next day, Kiyoshi discovers a drain line that joins the sports ground to the waste disposal area. Kiyoshi and Gakuto wanted to get an item to use for a diversion, so Gakuto poops inside their computer classroom. After that, Kiyoshi makes up his mind to cross-dress out of the school. Mary walks in on them, slacking off, so Gakuto runs and removes Mary's skirt from below. Mako becomes angry and punishes him by shaving his long hair short, which Gakuto steals to use as a wig for Kiyoshi. Kiyoshi steals a girl's uniform from the laundry room. Luckily, he does not get caught, and on Saturday, when the sports event starts, Kiyoshi escapes with the help of Gakuto. Now, Chiyo and Kiyoshi enjoy their date and food at the sumo tournament until Kiyoshi goes to the bathroom and Chiyo accidentally spills the tea on his bag. When Chiyo opens the bag, she realizes Kiyoshi has her uniform in his bag. Chiyo leaves the stadium and runs back home. Mako gets suspicious and calls for Kiyoshi, but he does not respond. She breaks down the door and somehow sees Kiyoshi sitting right there. After seeing that, Mako leaves, and Gakuto collects his limited edition figures. Suddenly, Mary brings out the photo Kiyoshi and Chiyo took on their date and questions him. Mary also says that Chiyo is her younger sister, which shocks Kiyoshi. The other boys get angry at Kiyoshi's disloyalty, and Mako puts Kiyoshi in prison while he is being investigated. Now, Mary wants to terminate Kiyoshi and almost succeeds in making him leave the school. Right before he signs the paper, Chiyo jumps in and takes the blame for him. Then Mary decides to terminate all the boys under her plan, which she calls DTO. While cleaning the toilet, Kiyoshi runs into Hana, who corners him to insult him. At the USC meeting, they start planning DTO. Mary and Mako to notify Hana about their plan of expelling the boys. When boys complete their daily assessment, Mako recruits Shingo as an informer, and in return, she offers him good food. Shingo then discloses that Joe is very conscious about his ants. Mako tells that to Mary, and then they plan an incident involving the ants. The next day, when the boys were having fun, some crows attacked Joe's ants in the yard. The USC members stop Joe from defending the ants. This makes Joe angry, and he strives to injure Mary with a wooden knife which Kiyoshi intercepts. Now, Joe is placed in solitary detention. Later that day, Shingo gets approval from Mako to leave campus, and she issues him a school uniform. Shingo then goes to a games arcade. At the gaming arcade, he finds a second year Andou and gets to know her. The next day, when Miko asks Shingo for more information, and he reveals a toy blade that he discovered in the toilet, Mako uses that blade in a plan to prove Gakuto's collaboration in Kiyoshi's escape. Mako confronts Gakuto and attempts to crush the figure to force his confession. Gakuto then takes the toy from her and smashes it, which makes everyone think he was not part of the breakout. Then Gakuto, later in the day, admits to the other boy that he was working with Kiyoshi and was guiding him in the breakout. Later that day, Chiyo discovers Miko unconscious in the school corridor. Chiyo then takes Miko to the USC office, where she finds the DTO plane, and in turn runs out of the room. Kiyoshi shows suspicion toward Shingo, so Mako sends Shingo on his prison leave, which he uses to watch a movie with Andou. Unfortunately, they leave the cinema because they don't like the movie. Back in school, Chiyo notifies Kiyoshi by sending a hidden message in the form of pieces of their board game. Andre gets tricked into the courtyard by the USC. When Andre sees Mako beyond the courtyard's wire wall, he can't control himself and destroys the gate. He and the other boys then get accused of trying to make a second escape. Meanwhile, when Shingo talks to Andou, she confesses that she's a USC spy sent to stop him from getting back to school on time. Shingo runs to get back in time but fails, which gets marked as a third escape because Project DTO was a complete success. The boys talk about how to acquire an email that has the plans that were made about DTO to avoid their termination. They agree with Gakuto's plan to privately enter the guard office and fetch the information. Now, they have an arm wrestling contest to distract Miko and take the keys from her. They manage to get the keys, but Gakuto needs at least 10 minutes to fetch the data. So the boys all start arm wrestling her. Gakuto goes first and loses within a second. Then Kiyoshi goes, but also fails. After Kiyoshi, Shingo and Joe also fail. At that exact time, Gakuto tries to get the data but fails. This makes boys safe, and they realize that their coming termination was unavoidable. Mako gives the boys departure forms that they have to sign. Kiyoshi says to Mako that the boys wanted to make an appeal to the chairman for an expansion before their termination, but Mako rips up their letter. Kiyoshi, however, sneakily sends the appeal letter to the chairman. The chairman asks the boys to solve his puzzle, which was to choose between the front or the back, if you know what I mean. Chairman asks Kiyoshi to answer, and after some strong analysis, Kiyoshi says the back as any reasonable person would. The chairman approves their appeal and gives them a one-day expansion to collect the proof of their innocence. At the USC office, Hana warns everyone to watch out for the boys. The boys formulate a new plan to immerse Mako in an ass wrestling tournament. Hana had already convinced Mary to allow her to guard the boys. So, when Hana comes instead of Mako, this shocks the boys, but they continue adapting their plan to Hana. Hana threatens Kiyoshi, and when Mako is doing push-ups, Mary comes and comforts her with her loyalty. Andou stops Chiyo in the school kitchen and offers her help. Gakuto makes Hana angry and allows Kiyoshi to go to the nurse's office. Hana then starts taking his revenge on Kiyoshi. The next day, the boys are called to the chairman's office, where they protest their termination and reveal the plan that they successfully executed with the help of Chiyo. Gakuto then appears with email evidence of DTO. The boys are then proven innocent, and the USC paintings against boys are proven to the chairman. The boys are now free from the prison, and they are shown enjoying their independence. The end. To watch more explanations of these kinds of movies and shows, click on the videos on your screen. And do not forget to let me know how you feel about today's video in the comments down below. Kindly like the video and subscribe to my channel and press the bell icon so you don't miss any new videos. And at last, I will say, stay safe, stay well. Thanks for watching.